everybody, it's Christine. I'm here to do my weekly wrap-up. Thanks for stopping by. My allergies have been kicking in high gear. I don't know why. It's almost like my reactant's not working, so I can't open the windows to get the fresh air because I'm allergic to birch trees, and there's one right behind the house, and I'm allergic to fresh cut grass, and everybody's mowing their lawns, so it makes it really difficult to open the windows, and I desperately need fresh air. But every time I go outside, my eyes kind of swell up. So, but yes, I still take my Reactine every day. I can't take Benadryl because it knocks me out, so what's the point? I want to, like, enjoy the day. I don't want to be sleeping. So, and the Reactine's the only one I found that works for me. So, trying to keep the hair out of my eyes, which, you know, doesn't always work. Anyways, I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. My son went to Cub Camp and he got bitten alive regardless of the bug spray. So he looks like he's got hives all over his body, but it's just bug bites. So anyways, the first book I finished last week was How to Get Over Your Ex by Nikki Logan. This is book 1 in a duology, and the other book is, where is it? The Guide to Be Seen With by Fiona Harper. And I do want to read it because I want to see how the other side happened. This is about a girl who decides to go on the radio. There's a contest and you can propose to your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. And the radio station will follow you for a year while you're planning your wedding, and I think they cover the honeymoon as well. And so the story starts with her running away from the radio station because her boyfriend said, "No, are you crazy?" pretty much on the radio. And so she jumps into the elevator, and the manager of the radio station kind of hides her and then realizes who she is later. Well, she signed a year contract, and since it didn't work out, they had to come up with something that would not make the radio station sue her. And so the manager came up with following her for a year to kind of reinvent herself and get over the rejection. So they start doing all these different things, like I don't think rock climbing was part of it, but different things to kind of make she tries to find herself. And of course, you know, it's romance there, so I think I gave this a 3.5. It's cute, it's just, I wanted more. I'm finding, and I've always found this, that Harlequin books, yeah, they're nice fluffy reads, but I always want more because they're always so really short. I think that's why I read like the historicals. They kind of look like the same size, but when you actually squeeze them, well, there's not a lot of substance. There we go, substance to the story. So that was the first book. Second one I finished was Milady Angel by Joanna Maitland, and this is for, of course, a triple RC, or I think I put this on this month. Let me see. Yeah. So anyways, this is about a woman who's widowed, and she's a baroness. And there's two men that show up. The first one says he's the Earl of Penrose, and he wants to give his papers so that he can get the title. But he has to prove that he is who he is because everybody thought that side of the family had died or was executed by Napoleon Bonaparte. Then this other one who actually has the title of Earl of Penrose. He doesn't have the money to flaunt, I guess it is, or to be the best of the Earl. You know, he doesn't have the money for the title that he has. So the whole story is this one Earl is trying to prove that he is who he is, and then this other Earl has to marry in order to get an heir to keep his title. Sort of like that. So, you know, things ensue. But the only frustrating thing was 3 people The original Earl, I guess, the father of the person who they thought was dead, is named Julian with an A. The son that's saying that he's the Earl but has to prove himself is Julian with an E, and his sister's name is Julie. And then the actual Earl is named Frederick. Frederick Maxwell, I think, is his name. Her former husband, the one that died, is named John Frederick. You need to change the names. Frustrating. I had to keep going back and forth going, okay, that's who that is. And that. So authors, when you're writing, don't give the same names to people so close together. Just makes it easier. So I think I gave that a 3 or 3.5. There wasn't much of a conflict. I mean, there was, but not as much conflict as I like to have in historicals. Okay, the next book, I liked it. I think I gave it a 4. And I wasn't expecting to like it. I had a feeling this was the book that was going to come in Owl Crate, and it was, obviously. But I really did enjoy it. It's Eliza and Her Monsters by Francescas Appiah, and yes, it is in a different format. It's got message board posts, it's got pictures. So, but it's about a girl who has this web comic, and nobody knows who she is except for 2 people that help her run the message boards. And this new kid moves to the school, and he doesn't talk. He's very shy. He gets picked on, and she kind of stands up for him, unbeknownst to herself that she's actually standing up for somebody, because she's kind of just trying to get through the year to be done with high school and graduate and be done. So it's about her and was it Wallace? Can't even remember the name. Wallace Warland and Eliza Merck. And she finds out who he is. He's one of the fan fiction writers on the blog, and she knows, or not the blog, the web forum. So she knows who he is, and then he starts writing things and letting her read them first. And there was a couple of times where it's like, no, don't do that, don't. But it was a really good story. It went by really quickly, and you really do feel for these characters. And his backstory is just heartbreaking. And hers is kind of, I didn't like her parents. Her parents were kind of, well, this is just a fad. This is just a thing. You need to do something else with your life. Meanwhile, she's making a ton of money off this forum web comic, and she's merchandising it. And her parents have no clue. Her mom is just into exercise, and her brothers know how big it is, but they don't say anything. So I really do. There's a part close to the end where her brothers kind of come to the plate and bat for her, and that's really cool. So I really do like it. It was a really good story. So yeah, a 4. And then last night I finished Lillian Jackson Bronze, The Cat Who Turned On and Off. I gave this a 3. I don't know if it's because I'm not into antiques, but it was just like, okay, we get the story. We get it. Come on. And it was kind of overdone. Like, there was like 15 different shops of antiques, and they had to explain everything in each of these shops, and it just drove me nuts. But this is about Quillerin, who's a feature writer. He used to be a crime writer for a newspaper. And he's got this cat, and that Coco is the one on the front. He's got another Siamese cat that he adopted named Yum Yum. And they kind of help solve the crimes. But there wasn't that much in this about the cats helping solve the crimes. They just kept kind of popping in here and there and stuff. So it wasn't like the other ones where the cat was more involved. This one, they were kind of like in the background. And somebody has died from the community, and he had originally thought that Junktown was a little area in town with junkies, and it come to find out that it's a bunch of antique junk dealers. And of course, there's a death, and you find out little tidbits about them, and then there's another death, and you find tidbits about them, and so it I liked it, but I found the previous ones better. And of course, this is written in the 60s, so it is a bit dated, but I don't have a problem reading dated material, especially when I was born in the 70s. So, and that's one of my pet peeves, that people say it's dated. Yeah, and if you read historical fiction, that's all dated, because it's about stuff that's years and centuries in the past. And this one is just a couple of decades in the past. And yeah, it's dated. And why is that a problem? So, as you can see, some of my pet peeves with BookTube. I still have to make that video, I know. But anyways, yeah, so I gave it a 3. I just found it a little bit long-winded in some stuff, and not enough on the actual cat helping to solve the crime, which is the basis for the books. And this morning I finished Star Trek Voyager 2, The Escape by Dean Wesley Smith and Christine Catherine Rush. I'd say this was a 3.5. It was a little bit drier than the first one, and I have not seen this episode, but this one is about the ship is in bad need of materials to help fix it. And so Neelix says that there's this planet that's haunted, but it's got lots of abandoned ships. So they get there. The away team inadvertently goes into one of the ships and goes back in time. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on, that there's a person that comes to find them to stop it. There's a person that is a criminal, and he tries to take over the ship. And there's dimensional travel. Yeah. So a little bit at the beginning was a little bit confusing, because you don't know what's going on. You can't quite understand it, because they're talking about hundreds of thousands of years and periods, but it does explain it. So I gave it a 3.5. I liked a little bit more. So we'll see how I like the episode. I'll probably watch that this afternoon. So, currently reading, of course, we are still reading Goblet of Fire. We are at the point where all of his friends are ticked off and totally pissed off at Harry because his name was popped out of the Goblet of Fire. That's where we are. And this is the first time reading this book for me. I only read the first 3. So, yeah, kind of interesting. My son loving it, of course. And I'm a little over halfway. Summer Night by Jim Butcher. It's book 4 in the Dresden Files. And this one's kind of different as well. I've been having the books are okay, and they're good. They're not great. That's the type of reading week I've been having. I can't really say much because it is book 4, but it is still continuing. The vampires are pissed off at him. The fairies are pissed off at him. The White Council's pissed off at him. It's Dresden. He doesn't make friends very good. So, yeah. Everybody seems to be pissed off at him. And then this one. The Jane Austen Marriage Manual by Kim Itzo. I'm almost halfway. I'm getting a little flustered because, as you know, I don't like Poor Little Rich Girls stories. I just don't have time or patience for them. This one is about a woman who is just about to turn 40. She does contract writing, but usually she takes over for maternity, people on maternity, and now there's no more work. There's no more funding. There's no more contracts. And her friends suggest that maybe she should be like her favorite author, Jane Austen, and try and find a man in this day and age instead of working. Okay, so she goes down to Palm Beach. And she's acting like an aristocrat because they bought a 1 square foot, her friends bought a 1 square foot property in Scotland. So she gets the title of lady. So she's going around as Lady Katie, pretty much poor, but she's making out like she's rich. And so she's ultimately trying to become a gold digger. She's trying to find a man, a sugar daddy. And she doesn't want to be a mistress. She wants to be a wife. Okay. And then a guy she meets that's way too, like she would be a cougar pretty much to him. And he does the same thing to her as what she's trying to do. And she gets pissed off. Well, guess what? So I'm just going to finish this. Right now it's about a 3. I mean, I like, her mother is a flake. Her grandmother has just passed away. Her mother is a gambling freak that has pretty much gambled everything away. And she acts like a kid. So, because her grandmother pretty much raised her. And yeah, it's just parents who don't give a parents that don't do anything for the kids because they're too selfish. And poor little rich girls drive me a wall. So we'll see if it turns out any better. Okay, now that we're on to what I might be reading this week, it won't take me that long to finish those 2. I will probably be picking up Savor the Moment, Book 3 in the Bride Quartet by Nora Roberts. And this is about the woman who does the cakes for the bridal wedding planning company called Vows. There we go. So yeah, I need something light and fluffy after something. Like, this is supposed to be light and fluffy, and this is driving me nuts. So this will be my light and fluffy. And then because I have library books out that need to go back very soon, I will be hopefully picking up Starters by Lisa Price, and I also have Enders, the second one, out. So we'll see about that one. And then I don't know if this is the least favorite book of this author, but I have his other 2, but I've heard more about them. So I might be picking up The General in His Labyrinth by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. If you've read this, let me know what it's about or if it's good. I've heard his Life in the Time of Cholera and what's the other one? 100 Years of Solitude are really good. So with this, I need something a little bit easier to read, so that hence this one. And we'll see about this one, because I know the premise of this story, so it shouldn't be too bad. So that is probably what I will be picking up this week. Thank you for all your comments about my cat. He is my baby. I call him my mama suck because he's always with the mama. And he will be 15 next month. He'll be 15. We got him at 5.5 weeks old, and we got him 2 weeks before my daughter was born. So that puts his birth close to the end of July. And he literally fit in the palm of my hand. He was the size of his back paw when we got him. He had no fur on his stomach, no fur on his tail. And the person we got him from, he was the second smallest in the litter. The smallest one had passed away, but it was a litter of 10. And my mom actually has his sister. But he was so small that she didn't think that he would survive or thrive. And you've seen the size of him. He's huge. He has thrived. He's always purring. He's the most gentle cat. I love him. And yeah. So those are my new shelves right there. I don't have them quite decorated or done as I want them right now, but they're there. And yeah, so that was my anniversary gift. And then my husband decided he's going to make me a set of shelves to make up for the ones that we really can't afford to buy right now. So rather than buy them, we have wood and stuff that he can make them. So all we would have to do is buy paint and varnish. A lot cheaper. So anyways, I think that's it. Let me know what you guys are reading this week if you're doing the Triple RC Challenge. I know Sarah from Novel Expectations is doing it. Sissy from Queen of BookTube Romance or Queen of Romance, something like that. And who else is doing it? Elisa from Paper Bits has decided to do it, so I'm thrilled. So, oh, and speaking of paper bits, there's only going to be 3 of us for the hashtag on the booktube shelf book this month, and it is going to be it's a book by Carrie Fisher. I just can't think of the name of it. No. Oops. I meant to have this done already. Oh, technology is driving me nuts. I think it's The Silent Wife by Carrie Fisher, and it will be Elisa from Paper Bits, Amber from Amber Reads Books, and myself that are going to be doing it. And you really can't see it. There we go. That is the cover of it. So I don't know the chapters or the pages yet because we all have ordered our copies. Mine will be here tomorrow. And Elisa and Amber have ordered theirs. So, or did Elisa get hers already? I'm not sure. No, I think all 3 of us have ordered it. So the other girls are taking a break. Chloe has a busy month. Alana has just finished moving. Catherine has been busy. And who am I forgetting? But anyways, the 3 of us are going to be doing it. So I will keep you posted as to the page count and the duration. I don't know. We'll probably just go to the end of June and then pick up in July. So that is a very long video. I am so sorry. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.